Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a little impromptu salsa recipe. All of my family, all my friends, they're always wanting this recipe. So I thought it would just be best to just put it on my YouTube channel. So here it is. It's just really basic. First, you're just going to take a can of whole tomatoes, rinsed, a lime, a couple serrano peppers. There we go. So this is where it gets, it's up to you to decide how spicy you want it. I put usually 4 peppers in. You can put the 5th one. It's totally up to you. You can do 2 serranos. I would personally say that you need at least 3 to 4. A couple things of garlic. A sweet onion, not a regular white onion, a sweet onion. And a thing of cilantro. Oh, and of course, the kosher salt. And that's, again, if you watch me, I'll show you what I mean by that. So first I'm going to get started by just opening the can of tomatoes. And then there's always, the question of, do I use a food processor? Do I use a mixer? Do I use a blender? I personally, so I'm going to drain my tomatoes right now. I personally use a Ninja. Everybody's different with what they want to do, with that. I am a Ninja girl. There's a Vitamix. It's kind of expensive in my opinion. So you just dump the can of tomatoes in there. Of course drained, just a smidge. So just give them a dump. You're gonna just slice your serranos. Now you can take them chunky and just toss them in. You can slice them and put them in. It kind of just depends on your food processor. And then the cilantro is of course cleaned, dried, and then I just take the chunk of it, try to get as many stems as you can out of it, and stick that in there. The lime. Just the juice of the lime. So obviously you're going to get one that's semi-ripe, but not completely. So just give it a good squeeze there. It's great because it's, it's becoming spring before you know it. Hopefully soon. Today's a beautiful day. And it's nice to just have this, it can last in your fridge for at least a week. If you have it out for company, it's always nice to have this. I think that's where I got it, so it became so popular, is this. I would have, when we had people over, I would always make it. Okay, and then you take the sweet onion. And this is, again, it's up to you what you want to do with the sweet onion. If you want to chop it up into little tiny pieces. I personally don't do that. I'm more of a, just take the first, little thin layer off here. It's rather messy. I don't know why, but I always do the onion last. So I'm just slicing it into just tiny little chunks and just putting it in. I don't think it really matters what order you go in. I don't know why I always do the onion and the garlic last, but I do. I think too with the salsa, it's very important to how you pulse it, or if you're doing it with a mixer. I personally don't recommend a mixer, but if you do it with a blender, just kind of pulse it, because the thing with blenders, in my opinion, kind of old school blenders, they tend to make the consistency rather liquidy. And it's up to you if you want like more of a pico de gallo kind of style, or if you want just like the traditional, now here comes my eyes, of course, with the onions, or if you want the more traditional kind of, you know, semi-chunky. There it goes. Whew. I don't know. There's got to be a way. I'm sure I've seen that where, try not to touch my eyes, but this is a video. But there's got to be a way to keep those onions from giving me the. So then, but back to the consistency. That's why I like this Ninja personally, or the Vitamix. You know, if you have the money. Or if you know, I guess if you find yourself doing a lot of smoothies and stuff like that, I've heard that the Vitamix is definitely that endorsing one product. I definitely feel that the Vitamix would probably, if you do a lot of greens and that kind of thing, would probably be beneficial. But I love the Ninja. I bought it at Fred Meyer. I mean, they have them everywhere, but it's, you know, I do a smoothie almost every day for my kids and I feel that it's just a good overall blender. Okay, now. So then what I'm going to do is take a couple cloves of garlic. It's really up to you again how spicy you want it, how garlicky you want it. And of course, I guess you could omit serranos and put in jalapeno peppers, but I think that's where the true difference is in this recipe, is switching from serranos to, or from jalapenos to serranos. A lot of people use jalapenos. I personally would rather do the serranos. And I like it garlicky, so I add a lot of garlic. At least, I would say at least 3 cloves of garlic. I'm more of like a 4 or 5 clove of garlic person. Let me get this last one here. And again, I mean, some people that have kind of modified this recipe that I've given to, they like to mince their garlic. I am all about thyme and not having a lot of it. And that's what's so great about this recipe, is you don't have to cut it a lot. So then what I do is I get everything ready to go, get my napkin here, as I call it, and then just give it a good, of course this thing is kind of finicky, you have to be kind of just right about it. Let's give it a little issue right off the bat. Okay, there we go. Stop it just to show you the kind of the consistency. You know, that's like about the pico kind of consistency, so I'm going to give it just a little bit longer. And this is where I like to just take off the top, give it a little smell. And then I just kind of do about a tablespoon of salt. Everybody's different with that too. But I'll write down and have on my blog, obviously, exactly what the recipe calls for that I do. Okay, so let's give it just a little bit more. I'll get a spatula here. So this, I'm just kind of consistency there. Line up the arrows, Aaron. Okay, here we go. Here, and check my pantry. And again, this is where everybody differs. I personally just like good old-fashioned chips. Everybody's different, but I'm just gonna give it a little taster. Got some good spice to it. Ooh. You can add a little bit of water if you felt like it needed it. I personally don't. That's good. So let me just pour it into a bowl and show you a little bit of the consistency that you're looking at. And that's that. See, it's good. It's good consistency, good chunkiness. You can see the cilantro in there and the garlic. So good. Okay, so check out my blog. I'll give you the list of ingredients, how easy it is to do it, and then I'll give you a couple like suggestions on, you know, what to use it for. But for the most part, I mean, hello, it's salsa, so use what you want. Anyway, okay, well, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.